Put It Bluntly, the show where the canna-curious go for straight talk on cannabis. On this podcast, new business owners join us in the BluntTank.
Today we're in the BluntTank, which is where we offer an entrepreneur in the cannabis industry some sage advice from a panel of experts. There are a lot of issues regarding going out with your own business in this space. Some are legal, some of them are just standing out, and some of them are just, how do I get this effort up off the ground? So today, as our guest, we have Lisa from Redweed Farms, and she is a grower and a cultivator. And Lisa will be sharing with our wonderful panel of experts who will offer her some truth. So to my right, I'll let her introduce herself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Karyn Wagner. I call myself the Chief Cultural Evangelist of Paradigm Cannabis Group, and we're located up in Humboldt County.
I'm Jazmin Hupp. I'm the co-founder of Women Grow. We're a national organization that connects, educates, and empowers women in the cannabis industry.
And I'm Missy McDill. I am CEO of Plaid Cannabis Marketing, and we're here to help with the marketing side of this.
Okay, well, the first thing we have to do, obviously, is what? Pick it up and let's smell it. Right. So we'll pass it around. Why don't we?
Whatever.
Well, we're not going to do that quite yet. But let's just talk a little bit while we're all experiencing it, but about your business and where you are today and what you're faced with.
I came into this business for a need to provide an income for my family and grow with it. It's been fun and exciting seeing the cannabis industry grow, and I started out doing CBD, and I did contractual gardens for a woman that was doing extracts, and she provided me with the clones, and then I grew for her, and then it just kind of morphed into CBD and THC. And I also saw a need for having, I wanted to grow only organic. So okay. I have worked with a lot of other cultivators in the area, and they pump chemicals into their plants, and I don't even think we've seen the ramifications of what that's going to look like in 20 years from now. People that are smoking and ingesting marijuana that has chemicals in it.
Tell us about it. Like, what have you been doing? You're very clean, obviously, is what you're saying, I think. Right?
Environmentally clean. Just my environment. I like the environment to be clean around the plants. Everything has a place. I'm not very easy to work for, but because I've been to a lot of gardens where there's a lot of trash, there's a lot of excess plastic being used. As I'm pruning a plant, I gather this is kind of a little bit proprietary. We talked about this, but. We use all of the plant matter, and we make a tea and an extract to feed back to the plant. I think that having people have a choice to have something organic that they're ingesting medicine-wise or recreationally is important to me. It's the most important thing.
Well, can you tell us what's your dream with this? Like, if you could take it anywhere, and it could be anything, how do you envision this business?
I would like my garden to be recognized as, if we want to use the buzzwords, artisanal, handcrafted, organic, 100% organic. My property is organic, and but there's no label for cannabis to be organic. So I'd like to see that come to the forefront. Yeah, just have the consumer be aware that they have a choice. And have the pricing be so that it's about the same too, so that,
That's, a great vision for the industry too, right?
Yeah. Fair trade with the grow for the grows.
We were talking a little earlier about it being a terroir. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I believe that cannabis, just like wine, we can create an appellation, which Santa Cruz County would be the appellation, and then within those appellations there are certain areas. There's, in Santa Cruz, I know cultivators all over the county, but they're in different areas.
Yeah. And we're really lucky because the state, under the new regulations that they're putting together, is going to create those terroirs for us.
Yes.
So, and they're going to allow us to have different inspections and things like that that certify that it comes from Humboldt, from Santa Cruz County,
Right,
from the coastal zone of Santa Cruz, from the Sealy Creek area, which is my area of Humboldt County. So that's going to actually be part of our new regulations, and that's kind of the that's kind of the fun part of legalization, right? We're really going to be able to have exactly what your dream is. Yeah,
we have new information right here.
Right,
that's great. All right, you're done. No, we wish, right? Well, let's talk about that, because the challenge is, it sounds like a lot of education. Am I right about that, Jazmin?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think we're lucky with the cannabis industry because the consumer traditionally from the cannabis industry has been more informed and more earth-centric. So I think we have a really intelligent customer, but we're about to welcome a bunch of brand new folks into cannabis in maybe a dozen states. And so they're going to need a lot of education in the same way that we educated folks about organic produce versus non-organic produce. We're going to have to start all over again. And now we have this really interesting added element of you're smoking this. So, you know, maybe we know what this chemical does when you eat it, but I absolutely agree with you. I'm terrified of, you know, what concentrated chemicals people might be vaporizing now and causing issues. And later they're going to say, oh, this caused, you know, X, Y, Z issue. No, that was the pesticide, not the cannabis that caused that issue.
Defining what that story is, so that it stays true to your values and your mission and your. So it's like marketing fine wines. It's like marketing fine anything, and it has to reflect you, and you know, seeking out what that reflection is supposed to be is what, you know, you're going to have that'll be your goal. It's a passionate item, just like the agricultural industry that we've worked in. You grow it, so it's something that you put a lot of heart and soul into, and you care a lot about it. And you look outside, and what's happening out there influences what's going to happen to your day that day. So you want to make sure that that passion is reflected in the quality of your product, but you have to explain it, because a lot of people aren't going to understand. They're not going to know. And everybody's going to say, I have the best, or I have the this, I have the that. But so you really have to make sure your story resonates with you and with the product that you're marketing.
Well, and if this were wine, I mean, you just go to a Safeway, you know, and look at the shelves of wine, right? And you end up hearing about wine, what, from a review? Or you end up having a friend tell you that, or they bring it to a party, right? How can you communicate that quickly to somebody in a way that they understand?
Well, I think a little tastings, right? I think that the organic industry faced a lot of this. So having, you know, worked a lot in that segment, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of education, and luckily they've done a lot of the educating to the consumer about the values of organic. So you have to live it, and you have to, you know, show it in your communications and how you package and how you market your product.
Karyn, what do you think? Are we even going to have a level playing field for organics until pesticide testing is required? I mean,
so here's what's I can speak a lot about pesticide testing right now, because it's a huge problem. It has been in Washington and Oregon, and it's drifting down really quickly into California because we've never had to have pesticide testing before. Now we will. So one of the labs, and I'm not going to name the names right now, just upgraded to the most comprehensive pesticide testing that there is. That is on standard with Washington and Oregon. And what they have found is 84% of the feedstock in Northern California is tainted. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in comparison with the other labs that are testing. Huge problem. Where does that come from? We have organic growers that up in Humboldt that have always grown organically. They don't put anything into their soil. They don't spray or anything else. Where is it coming from? It's coming from the clones and from the soil itself. People are buying soil and it's tainted, and the clones are tainted, and that's coming all the way through to the flower.
So what should she consider then, or do?
Well, you probably grow from seed.
I grew half my crop this year from seed and the other half from clones.
Okay.
But I grow in my own soil.
Right.
So I don't grow. That's how I started all this. I started getting soil, and on the bag it would say from Santa Rosa or from Canada, and then that's why I came up with putting it in my own soil. That's the only way you can create your own product.
Exactly.
So we have to tell the story from the soil
Yes.
first, it sounds like.
A lot of people don't grow in their
own soil. They buy soil.
They buy soil.
And I think that information is going to get to be more and more public as more of this information comes out. So from the get-go, making sure that all of your information is accurate and clear and well-defined is going to make a difference in how your product's going to be perceived. Yeah,
sounds
you
like
want to stand out.
Time could be on her side here too, because as people fall away and they're testing and they don't pass, she's like last man standing, you know, kind of. Can she work more strongly or have more leverage in a group? Is there a way to involve yourself in an educational group or or start a group or do something like that in the Santa Cruz area without compromising your standing out, right? But also
Appellation, we would have a whole
You would have almost a
of-
built-in trade association, if you will, right, of those like-minded farmers within that appellation.
Well, I think each county and each appellation, it's going to be important that Santa Cruz in itself protects sort of the Santa Cruz value of the product. So it's going to be really important that these communities or these growing areas really are, including the whole state of California, does things to really market that and to really support it and to really protect it. They do that in the agricultural industry. They do that in California, does it overall as being from California, so that, you know, there's a value in that. There's a value in this being from Santa Cruz, that the other growers that are here you will all benefit. And sometimes there's a fear of sharing information or working together with other competitors, but the bottom line is, as you build the name of Santa Cruz and the value of it, it's going to build the whole industry will benefit. The whole group of you will benefit.
let's talk truth for a minute. How hard is it? You've just created this Women Grow network, right? How hard is it to get this group together to make this happen?
I've found that people will come together at the very last possible moment when they have decided there are no other options.
The celebration is happening again.
I mean, yeah, honestly, we got together a lot of people because it was the great party at first. But you know, I think I think it's really tough. You know, we saw a lot of women who were growing on the same hill who didn't know each other, and they came together for the first time and maybe became friends. You know, to not even know all of your neighbors, or sometimes you know your exact neighbors, but maybe one watershed over, you have no idea. So yeah, we've found that cultivators have a lot of different goals for how they want to be regulated and legalized, and I think it's what's most difficult is finding growers who align with your values, that you guys can move together. Because what the regulators tell us on the other side of it is, you know what, we just hate this revolving door of this guy coming in and saying the next guy is full of BS, and this guy coming in saying, oh, that guy doesn't know anything, you should do it this way. And so it's when people come together and create that united front of no, you know, we all agree this is the way it should be done. That's what we hear legislators listening to the most.
And we have a great trade organization, a kind of a master trade organization right now with California Growers Association, and I don't know if you're a member or you go to any of their meetings or anything, but they are real incredible advocacy group for us on in the State House and in general. They have different chapter meetings as well, so you might be considering that also. And you might even put together a Santa Cruz Women Grow meeting. Yeah, because you know you've got a boutique product here. Okay, what we're fighting for in California with legalization happening is we're scared to death of big companies coming in and taking over the marketplace. So you have a niche, boutique product, and you've got to tell story. So I would like pen and paper at all times with you, just writing down those words and getting it right, and who am I and why am I doing this and why is my product better and what is my heart and soul in this product, and then that becomes something that you build upon.
And I think that as we spoke, you can also work with people that can help you get that information. You're not supposed to be an expert at everything. You're only supposed to be the expert at what you do and what you go find people or meet with groups or talk to other people, because other people, that's their business and job, so they're the ones that are supposed to help you through that. And don't expect that you have to know or be everything in all things. You're good at what you do. You should stay focused on that, and then find the group that fits you. Find the group that you don't have everybody. There's going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors coming into California from a marketing perspective, from all perspectives, from growing. So make sure you get with someone that you just feel right and feel is a good fit and gets you, and then trust that you found the right person and let them help to express who you are and what your product is, and it will happen. And we've spent years and years marketing small companies when the big boys came in, and you can stand out and you can be perceived that you're just as big as them. But you got to find some people that you really feel that can support you in that.
I would strengthen the policy side of what you're doing. I think we're going to go through this period of heavy regulation and heavy change where your locality, your city council maybe perhaps is going to have a lot of control over whether or not you get to do business. And because you are connected to a certain location as opposed to maybe another brand that could just move a county over, maybe, you know, I don't care where my dispensary is because I just want to open a dispensary or my kitchen. You know, you are very much connected to a certain place at a certain time. So I would focus on finding collaborators who have the same priorities as you, or whatever you can do to become an active part of that political process. And I know you've probably already done a ton. But for me, it was actually just a stranger process. I never felt that I could be an active part of the political process, but now we're really being called to serve that. I always thought it was really weird when like an industry showed up and demanded, you know, this is how this should be regulated. But I've now learned that it's actually an education tour of our legislators just don't know what we do and how it works, and they actually just need some education and some help and seeing that we're normal people that want to pay our taxes and want to send our kids to school. And so as active as you can be, and you're very, very much in your little tiny locality, I think might be of service to you.
Did we answer what you were? We gave you a lot of information.
Yeah, a lot of information. So helpful. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the couch. It's not really the BluntTank, it's where therapy happens.
And the fact that you were willing to, and you're willing to step out. That, I mean, right there, you've already made the indication that you're making the move to go to the next level. So you're, you know, the fact that you're sitting here shows that you are truly committed to growing your business and growing it into a success.
Appreciate that you came in and shared it with us. Thank you. And we're going to say thank you for watching this episode, and stay tuned for more.